when we started, let's come back to the start. We were talking about mystery schools, right? So I tried to give an example. Freemasonry is a type of mystery school where if you go back to its roots, if you come back to like how people came to have something like, oh, I want to be a Freemason. It's not like, from nowhere. So there's some trace, and that's not me saying, oh, what I believe. That's me saying something that I hear from guys taught in the Freemasonry, and they talk about it publicly. Even it's not like necessarily you can be initiated on it as well. Which in this case, as I'm saying, I have been or have in touch with people that have been, but you can see people that are initiated and talking about this kind of things, because it's, again, it comes back to that idea that if there's something that just a certain level of people will get to know, it's less likely that that thing will be out in the public. And it'll be like some historical, like we can just find it. Let's say that's
But
Matt,
what I'm saying. Are you following why in this specific instance that's a problem? Because modern Freemasonry is entirely unmoored from historical Freemasonry. So any historical secrets that you might imagine that they had aren't what they'd have now.
Today's completely different. And that was not the initial claim. The initial claim was to give you some idea of how a mystery school comes to be and why is it important. It's not necessarily just, oh, I'm getting people for my cult, just like today happens. It's just this idea, this notion that you needed some kind of initiation before sharing specific topics. And even today, that still happens, again, with top secret programs. You cannot just, oh, I know a weapon. I know how to build some big weapon, and I'll just give it away to everybody. Or I know how to build the best AI possible, and I'll just give it away to everybody.
Initiation is a thing of all groups, all levels. And, I mean, there are street gangs. Most street gangs, require some sort of very violent, very bloody initiation.
And my point with that was, again, if we are going to, because we were talking about Zoroaster and all the historical parts of it, we can find historical parts of things, especially on the exoteric part, but on the esoteric, it's going to be much harder. Because again, it was all behind initiations, behind coded things, and like double talk. Let's say that. Then it's like, how can you really have a text on that? People are not writing about it.
That's kind of going into the notion that everything is a conspiracy and nothing is true.
Yes.
Not necessarily, because you can compare it.
No, but of course. But they're saying that the exoteric, what you can find in books, in libraries, online, whatever, is so incredibly different from the esoteric, and that the true secrets are, only held within the groups, within the lodges. I mean, if that was true, then we wouldn't be talking about it.
No, it's more so with time it comes to be, but then you lose the track. If you don't hold the keys, then you lose the track. It's kind of like if you imagine a circle, the exoteric will be on the outer circle, and you can find a lot of things about it, right?